So I was surfing YouTube the other day for some tracks that I wanted to like listen to. And I look at the comments and it was like 6 minutes and 2 seconds. Trust me, 33 seconds is what you're looking for, whatever. And I was like, you guys, you can't just eat the chicken that's been roasting in the oven. You gotta turn the oven on, you gotta bake the chicken, and then you gotta enjoy the chicken as it gets golden brown, and then eat the chicken afterwards. And I find that as a society and as music fans, I think sometimes we have the tendency to default to the drop, to default to the epic moment, the climax of a piece. And the reality is that music in general, there's a couple different variations that we can go on. We can have pieces that go up like this, peak, and then resolve. So it's like bookmarking. So you have two lower sections and one big peak, right? Don't be weird. Then you can have the slow gradual progression where the peak is at the end. And then you can also have the inverse, which I just listened to a Mick Gordon piece from Wolfenstein, and that was the opposite. So it started really big and then it slowly decayed. Those are the types of sonaural soundscapes we can have. Oftentimes, there's something wrong with enjoying a peak, enjoying when the drop happens. I mean, there's a reason why the Sawano drop is so famous, right? However, I would like to encourage you to stop doing that. Unless you want to, which by all means, like, go have at it. But in my mind, you have to preheat the oven before you put the chicken in the oven, or the tofu for you vegans out there. There's something about the gradual like increase in tension and the increase of the rise and fall of the emotional experience musically that I think we rob ourselves. And also societally, it's also interesting because like if you think about like some of the most popular video game tracks, Bury the Light, The Only Thing They Fear Is You. Actually, Ludwig, the Holy Blade, that too falls into this tendency where like we don't want to get all the wonderful sort of structure that we get before the epic bombastic part. You know, there's a bunch of other pieces that are like this where we naturally gravitate towards the jumping off point. Ludwig the Holy Blade is a prime example about how intense the piece is and how the tension builds into the ultimate sort of release. You know what I mean? Like there's something about that. And so I just wanted to take 5 seconds to just say, unless you're trying to reconnect to a moment emotionally from the game experience, from the context, allow yourself the time to just like listen. And also, it's okay that not every track is sexy. We don't need every track to be a banger. And by all means, if you love bangers, go off. But like, bangers are not the only tracks that exist. And if you gravitate towards bangers, I would encourage you to explore slower tracks. Tracks that take longer to build. Tracks that lead to something. You know, a great example would be This Is What You Are from Warframe. Starts super chill, it builds and builds and builds, and then it releases, right? You might check out The Rain, formerly known as Purple. Talk about a 6-minute payoff where the end is that homage to Prince with Purple Rain. It's a really great sort of natural development. Neovana's theme, or Womb from Death Stranding 2 by Ludwig Forssell, or even To the Wilder by Woodkid from Death Stranding 2. Just stop going to 6 minutes and 33 seconds. Stop going to that part. Allow yourself to really have the natural growth into the peaks. We need the low to get the high. We need the natural drive up the ramp in order to then jump off the ramp and do the jump. You don't just land at the top of the mountain, you climb up it. And I would encourage you to continue to be patient with the mountains. And if you already do this, that's awesome. Yeah, that's all. See you guys later.